Hello everyone, hi, welcome to the channel of Wall Street Mojo. Friends, welcome to the tutorial of investment banking versus equity research. See, all the students who are coming out of MBAs or CAs or CFAs, they are into this dilemma that where exactly they should go, investment banking or they should go in equity research, or what exactly they should do. So let's discuss some of the differences between them. See, there are some of the really significant differences that may be worked out in case of equity research and investment banking. At the very first end, there are significant difference between the two of the famous profession. Okay, one remains typically in the dark, and another one is completely in the limelight, you can say. Okay, whereas another enjoys complete limelight and importance of the world. So I'm writing over here as equity research. So first one is that there is completely over here uh, the investment bankers, they completely stay in limelight, and the equity research people are work typically are in the dark zone. That's not insulting, but okay, if you want to choose one of these careers, you need to look within yourself and find out what do you want. See how you communicate. I mean, what do you want to look within yourself and find out what do you want, how you communicate, and how important the work-life balance is for you. If you are among those who love to work in the dark and does not care much about the limelight, then you should go for equity research. But if you enjoy being in the center of the crowd and does not care much about the work-life balance, investment banking is right for option for you. So there is an incredible demand of investment banking profile among young finance professionals as they enjoy the limelight and significance glamour. Okay, so let's see some of the conceptual difference between the two of them. The first, if you are new into the financial field and you're wondering what to choose among these two, then there is one perception which needs to be bursted. Equity research is often viewed as, less paid and you can say unglamorous job, but in real sense the thing have been changed lately. People are tending more towards equity research rather than the investment banking, and you can say the recognition and the pay is not as bad as it is perceived. So we will analyze critically what works and what doesn't, but before that, let's see the conceptual difference between the two of this finance domain. Now, investment bankers are the major decision makers. Remember one thing, decision makers of the industry. Their job is to do extensive research on various financial deals, coordinate with the deal makers, and execute the major financial deal. The job in the real sense is acting as they are the mediator, or you can say a broker between the investors and the businesses who need financing. They work for IPO, they work for M&A, they work for restructuring, and so on and so forth. In a sense, they are add a tremendous value to the business and investors to earn handsomely as a result. Now, in case of the equity research analysts are the real financial heroes who create the valuation models with the help of DCF method and research reports on the basis of which the major decisions are being made. They are expert in financial modeling, financial statement analysis, evaluations of the company. So how economy and currency will work, they concentrate on the small groups of stocks and constantly give information to the team members about any data that seem critical for the decision making. See, many equity research analysts try to go to the buy side, okay, of the industry, as it seems the most lucrative and competitive of all the equity analysts, and provides lucrative compensation and much desired limelight. So what are the prerequisites that are required for both of this? Prerequisites, I'll just write prerequisites. So the first and the foremost thing, there are some prerequisites if you want to pursue any of these two most hype finance domains. Let's look at those. See, generally speaking, mere graduation will not help you to fetch a career in equity research or investment banking. In I'm talking about both the scenarios. But yes, it is minimum requirement. Graduation is minimum requirement, but you can say if you're brilliant in maths, you can say in communication, in finance, then you can say that in accounting, economics, then you can get a job. But you need to think for the further qualification to reach higher levels in your domain. Let's see some of the educational skills that are required for this particular domain. See, in case of the equity research analyst, the right course is you for is CFA. CFA is very affordable course compared to MBA. And if you have a look at CFA and MBA, CFA is much more cheaper than MBA, but it is very tough to complete. CFA is close enough to 3 levels, okay, and you can and after that you need 4 years of work and then after you get the certification. So as an equity research analyst has to do all the calculation, create all the research reports, it is of the utter importance that they should be good at the security analysis. So they should be really good with the numbers also at the same time. And a CFA is a gold standard course for security analysis. So it's a given that if you want to pursue a career in equity research, you should do CFA. And for equity research analysts, researching and analysis skills are of the vital importance. All big financial deals are done on the basis of the calculation and analysis. So you can say research will play a very important role. Thus, without these two particular skills, it is difficult for an equity research analyst to thrive in his career. Now let's see some of the education and skills that are required in case of investment banking. As already mentioned, investment banking career in most of the closing big deals than sitting in front of the laptop and analyzing the latest valuation models of a startup. So the mere graduation will not at all seal the deal for investment banking professional. You need to be an investment banker. So CFA is a good option, but if you consider a knowledge and acquisition of a needed skills, MBA seems to me is a really a better option, as MBA offers an incredible opportunity to do networking, which is very important in case of investment banking. With CFA, it does not provide. So if you see, the curriculum of MBA is more of a business oriented and less of investment oriented. As an investment banker has a less to do with the research and more to do with the closing deals, it's of the utter importance that they know how business works along with an incredible knowledge in finance domain. So the three most important skills that an investment banker must possess as an ability to create a great client relationship. It is very important to go for client relationship. You should be really good at negotiation and negotiate with the deal with the maximum success, and you should be really good with the, you can say, with the communication skills. So let's see some of the employment outlook in both the arenas. The employment outlook in both the case, if you see, in case of investment banking, there are many people who have predicted that the positions of the equity research analyst would get decreased as we move ahead, but that's not entirely true. But to be able to be work well, equity research analysts have to depend on equity capital market. Okay, so bankers whose business is much more profitable, they can go for that. But as an equity research analyst, are vehicles, the vehicle through which all the financial deals have been done, they are going to stay in the market as long as the business exists. So equity research analyst concentrates on the specific markets, segments, value companies on a periodic basis, and they write basically the reports. They write reports which is very important for them. All the Fortune 500 companies, they hire equity research analysts. As a market leader, say that investment banking and the opportunity have been booming. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the growth of the finance industry would be close enough to around 11% in between 2012 and 2022. That means you can say there will be at least reasonable expanse of investment banking jobs in the market. Wall Street, you must have knowledge regarding Wall Street. It's in New York. It's the financial hub of America. Wall Street has been hiring investment banking professionals for years, and all the Fortune 500 companies select these students from the top MBA institutes like Harvard, Stanford, and Wharton for offering lucrative career opportunities in investment banking. So if you want to pursue equity research analyst profile, you can say, don't just think that this is the option left when people don't get an investment banking profile. So investment banking is not for everyone. Remember one thing, and should not be pursued by everyone. If you have a natural tendency towards critical thinking, analytical ability, and you love to dig deep, equity research analyst profile is basically right option for you. Whereas if you have knack towards closing the deal, if you have knack towards closing the deals, then in that particular case, interacting with the clients and building a client portfolio, and you love to networking extensively, then investment banking profile is the right option for you. So let's see some of the salary prospects in both the scenario. If you see the salary, it's been seen that the equity research analyst gets paid lesser than the investment banking professional, but that does not mean that equity research analyst gets paid lesser than the market standards. According to the research done by the Glassdoor in 2014, it has been seen that the equity research analysts, they earn close enough to around $95,690. And as per the Wall Street Journal, the equity research analysts were somewhere between $72,200 to $148,800. So on the other hand, the investment banking bankers are real money makers, as they interns they just earn between $70,000 to $80,000. Once they join their salary becomes close enough to between $115,000 to $130,000, with a round of $30,000 in bonuses. 30,000 bonuses. So that's really good. Once they have some experience, maybe around 3 years, they earn anything between close enough to 1,75,000 to $2 lakh. But the decision of the career should not only be based on the compensation. There are other sides too. The personal preferences, work-life balance, and professional aspiration should also be taken into consideration. Let's see some of the career's pros and cons in both as a scenario. If you see the pros of equity research, then in that scenario, equity research analysts are the, you can say they are the backbone of the any security companies. Without the expertise of the equity research analysts, the companies cannot help their clients and make big decisions in specific areas of the market. So they can be called as the backbones of security analysis. Equity research analysts can work independently with skill sets they have, so they can work directly for the clients or as a freelancer, or can run their own business. Okay, clients may pay millions of dollars to get the valuation of their business to get finance. So equity research analysts have a direct role to play, and you can say that equity research analyst works close enough for around 12 hours a day, 12 hours a day, and or 60 hours a week, which seems to be very normal scenario in finance domain. And it is advantage if we compare the work hours with hours put in by the investment bankers per week. There are some cons in this areas too. Equity research analysts often needs to depend on equity capital market bankers to get thinking moving. Thus it is said that the era can earn their breads, but for jams and butter they need to depend on others. The compensation for equity research analysts is not lucrative, okay, as for the investment bankers. Finally, equity research analyst needs to work in dark, okay, and get little or no limelight as compared to the investment banking professional. Let's see some of the pros and cons for investment banking job. Pros and cons over here. In case of the investment banking, the pros are like something: the demand for investment banking professional is always booming, and the investors and business love them as they execute the deals and help both the parties connect with each other. They are compensated heavily. Okay, they are compensated, I can say they are compensated heavily and extraordinarily well. They are highest paid workers in the market, and in the fields like computer engineering and chemical engineering. Investment banking professionals, they enjoy glamour a lot, a great lifestyle, and an incredible reputation. So investment banking professionals are one of the most sought after professionals in the world. Many young students look up to the profession as an eye of the fish. There are some cons to this, is that the major issue with the investment banking profession is that the working hours. Most of the investment banking work for close enough to 75 to 100 hours a week, which is too much for a human being to bear. Thus, even if they earn a lot, they don't get a time to enjoy what they earn. Many students choose investment banking as a profession by looking at its glamour and ultimately fail to make their mark. The profession needs an authority level knowledge in finance, which often becomes hard for students to acquire. So investment banking is not about knowing only, but executing is one big task in investment banking. And sometimes huge deals, yes, there is a huge bonus of execution, but often the responsibility also lies in investment bankers as they connect the business with the investors. So what to choose? Finally, if before that, the work-life balance. You can imagine that there should be a work-life balance. Yes, work is very important, but the person who does the work is important too. So if you are an equity research analyst, you'll be a sane and not give in it to work. You will have a better work-life, clear head, and you will work for around 60 hours a week, receive an above average compensation, and maintain a healthy lifestyle. On the other hand, investment banker does not see his watch, he sees clients. That's a good thing to do, but even he will earn much more than anyone in the industry. But like everybody needs rest. So without rest, a proper balanced life working would just be an obligation. So if you don't sleep for last 7 days, you would not be able to function properly, let alone be out of thinking for clients. So even if you choose investment banking profession, set a limit. Don't work till you fall and lose yourself. Life is precious. Okay, so what should you choose between both of the case? So final answer between the same is that there is no one size fits for all the formula. Some are good researcher, but some are good deal makers. So you know what to choose in that case. Some are good negotiator but excellent with numbers. Guess what they should choose. So being a great in specific things in it is important, but more important is the willingness to work in the particular domain. Not everyone will choose investment banking profession, even if the compensation and standing of the profession seems lucrative. And not everyone will choose equity research analyst profile, even if there is a better work-life balance and groom to the proper grooming and grow to get better in other things in spare time. Thus, it's your call between investment banking versus equity research. know the market, moreover know yourself. Once you know both of these things, it would be really easy to find a sweet spot where you can belong and thrive. Don't choose any career just because you want to be more money or glittering glamour, a better work-life balance. Choose something because you love it, you're passionate about, and it would definitely be a right choice. Thank you.